Hello. My name is Corinne from the North Balford Library with Lakeland Library Region, and welcome to episode 39 of Boredom Busters. So, the calendar says that it's spring, and I'm going to do my best to believe it. So I thought we could make some friendship bracelets as our next pick-and-make kit. And I know that origami is something that's really popular around the library. So today, I'm going to show you how to make folded paper bracelets. Let's get started. What you'll need for today: scissors, a pen or pencil, a ruler, some plain paper. I've got white that I'm going to show you how to measure everything on, and then I've got some colored stuff that I'm going to use to help explain things a little bit better. And there's going to be even more fancy paper in the Take and Make kits, and either a paper clip or a piece of tape. It's a very simple craft, but turns out beautiful. Step 1. We need to make 20 strips of paper that are at least 12 centimeters long and 3 centimeters wide. Depending on your wrist size, you may need to make a few less, you may need to make a few more, but I am putting at least 20 strips into the Take and Make kits. So I'm putting it on my paper. I'm marking off 12 centimeters, 12 centimeters, and I'm putting a straight line down both of those marks. And I'm going to measure from that last mark because I can get another strip in there, so I'm measuring 3 centimeters this time. So there is a little bit that gets cut off of this letter size sheet. And then I'm also going to mark 12 centimeters. Make my straight line there. So I get one extra when I do that. And then I'm putting another straight line down on my other 12 centimeter mark. And then I'm coming to this other end and marking every 3 centimeters. Hang on, I messed up. I need to do this from the other end. There we go. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and 21. Just at the very edge there. There's a little bit more that you have to cut off. And again, I'm just going to go through and mark my lines on this. And now cut it all out. Try to cut your strips as straight as possible and as close to the same size as possible. Some of the different tutorials I looked at had some different sizes, but it usually worked out that the strips were 4 times longer than they were wide. So I'm being very careful with cutting the 2 pages at once and making sure that my lines still line up properly. Otherwise, we're going to have some strips that are the wrong size. Okay, for step 2, we need to start folding. So I do have all of the white ones that I cut out, and then I also have some colored ones because it will make it a little bit easier to see when we start putting everything together. So what you need to do is fold in half all of the pages widthwise or hot dog bun style so that they become a little bit narrower. And you need to leave it folded like that and then fold it in half lengthwise, like so. And we need to do that to all 20 pieces of paper. Step 3. Take 2 of the folded pieces of paper and put one inside the other so that the papers make a capital T. So because we made these narrower, there kind of is almost like 4 edges on these, but we're treating each fold kind of as one edge. So just be careful when we're getting to that. So what we're doing is we need to place the horizontal strip is on the inside of the vertical one. So the outside strip is the vertical one with the open ends pointing down, and the horizontal strip has the fold to the left. You want to place the vertical paper a little bit more than the width of the folded paper from the folded edge of the horizontal paper. We use the folded edge of the paper as a loop to add more paper, so we need room to do that. So our T isn't exactly center, which means the vertical paper isn't in the exact center of the horizontal paper. Step 4. So now we need to take that top edge of the horizontal paper, and again, this is where it gets a little bit confusing because we folded it, but we're treating both of these folds as one edge. And we need to fold it at a right angle towards the center towards the vertical paper. And then we fold that angle up so it's across the top of the vertical paper. Now we need to flip everything over and do the same to the other edge of the horizontal paper. So again, we're folding it at a right angle towards the vertical one, and then we're folding it up on top of the vertical. And then you use a paper clip or tape to hold the folds in place. This is the start of the bracelet. Step 5. Let's start expanding this. You need to hold the bracelet so that the loop is pointing to the right and the loose edges point down. Grab another piece of paper and then slide it up so that the folded edge is the width of the folded papers above the loop. So you can measure and check this. And again, like last time, we're going to fold the top loose edge at a right angle towards the main part of the bracelet and then fold it up over the loop. There should be room to place the straight part of the loose end in the fold of the last piece of paper. Turn it over and do the same to the other loose edge at a right angle towards the main part of the bracelet and then fold it up over the loop. There should be room to place the straight part of the loose end in the fold of the last piece of paper. And now we have a new loop. Step 6. We're going to keep expanding, but our starting looks a little bit different because we have this step-like thing happening. The top step is the loop and it points to the right. And the one thing to keep track of is that you are always going to point to the right. The bottom step is the loose edges and they point to the left because this is our even numbers, and that's why I'm switching in between the two colors. Slide another piece of paper so that the folded edge is the width of the folded papers above the loop, and just like before, fold the top loose edge at a right angle towards the main part of the bracelet, and then up over the loop. And again, there still should be room to place part of the loose end in the fold of the last piece of paper. Turn it over and do the same to the other loose edge. Now we have a new loop. But because we're making these steps with the paper, the top step is always going to be the loop, and it's always going to point to the right. It's just the directions of the loose edges will alternate between pointing down or pointing to the left. Now I'm going to show this 2 more times at regular speed without my voiceover, and then I'm going to be gradually speeding up until we're ready to finish the bracelet. Step 7. We've come to the end of our bracelet. It is long enough to fit over the widest part of our hand, and that's important. You want it to fit around the widest part of your hand, not the widest part of your wrist. And so we need to turn this long bit of folded steps into a round bracelet. Take off the paper clip, or make sure that the piece of tape is firmly down. And then slide the loose edges from that into the top of the last loop. Not gonna lie, this step can be a little tricky because you also have to slide the edges from the first folded right edge angles into the loop as well. Remember when I said to make sure that your pages are all the same size? This is why. I'm having to actually trim those last few edges so that it'll fit into the fold. Oops. Fold the last two edges like we've done before. So by making that right angle and then folding up and tucking it in. And then do it on the other side. Oh, this is harder on the inside. Sorry guys, but I'm folding that right angle and tucking in. And your bracelet is complete. So like I said before, you can do this with different sizes of paper as long as you're keeping a 4:1 ratio, so 4 times longer than it is wide. You can experiment with different thicknesses of paper, like if you were to do it with construction paper or cardstock paper. Do you think you would need to make that first hot dog style fold? It'd be a fun thing to play around with. Another huge thank you to Kelly's Computer Works here in North Battleford for the generous donation of an iPad tripod. It made filming so much easier. I hope everybody has a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye!